You have to know that we are also producing for other luxury brands. I mean, this is an open secret that we are having Babor, but also working with them. And there we see how huge this advantage is, because I mean, they come to us and say, hey, you have the full control, you can do everything for us. And and at the end we do. So it's a huge advantage at the end. Yeah, definitely.
Excellent. Hello friends, this is Líderes, descubierto, and now, as usual, I have a great leader here in our study. We have Tim Saunier. Tim Saunier studied marketing and finance, and he is the CEO of Babor, a skincare company. And what about if you can tell us your story since childhood in order to know more about the person behind the name Tim Saunier? Welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me here. Unfortunately, I cannot speak Spanish, so great that we can do it in English. I was born in Germany. Maybe you get the accent. I have a German accent. And my childhood. I have two siblings, a brother and a sister. And I have a great mother. I mean, if you ask me who is the person who inspired me most, to be honest, it's my mother. Because there was a time, there was just my mother and the three of us. And she took care of us and managed it. And next to taking care of the family, she also was working. So that was the very really beginning. And then I have the great opportunity having two fathers. I always say I have two fathers. It's also inspiring me somehow, because I have a father, a real father I'm really close with. But he left us when I was 5. There were reasons, I mean, there are always reasons for this. So it was okay. But then another father, I always say father also, came into our life, and I mean, he also inspired me. I mean, we were 3 kids, 1 woman, and he took over the family and managed it, and really loved us, and gave up a bit, just to be with us, just for the love of his life, and for being with us. So this really inspired me in the beginning. And after childhood, of course, there was a time where I also did not know what to do in the future. I mean, when you're 15, 16, even 20, how could you know what you're doing?
It's very difficult. But let me ask you something. What is the value that you consider is the most important that your mother gives you?
I mean, the most important was she always loved us without we did not have to do anything for her love.
Okay.
That was awesome. I mean,
who
can say this, right? You can do whatever you want, or whatever I want, but still, whatever we did, we always knew that there's a mother really loving, all the kids. And then at the end, it was also about being focused. I mean, she knew what she wants to do. Also, my father, I mean, he told me, so my real father, he was a surgeon. He's now 80.
Okay.
And he already knew with 30 what he wants to do, and everything he did then, like the university he chose, the first job he chose was always about, okay, this dream, I want to become a surgeon, and he did it. So this kind of focusing and following your dreams at the end.
To have a plan.
To have a plan, and at the end it's up to you. You can achieve everything. I mean, I know it's just a phrase.
To see yourself on the moon.
I mean, it's a phrase. Everyone is telling you, if you just believe in it, you can achieve it. But it's the truth at the end, right?
Yes.
So if you believe it, I mean, my father always told me, hey, no matter what if you would become a manager or surgeon or chef or whatever, you would be successful. So just believe in what you're doing, and that's one of the key things I get from
And if you love what you do, people are going to love what you are doing. And okay, maybe we can continue. You were saying about at 20, I don't know what I'm going to be in the life. Please tell us more.
I mean, maybe I was not that focused already in this early age as my father with 30 being a surgeon. It took a while. I mean, with 30, there was also with 20, no, it was 20, to be honest, 20 or 19 when I decided, okay, what to study. And to be honest, there were so many things. I mean, being a lawyer, being a doctor, so many options. And there was not that much kind of education, what is the best for you. So this is something I really missed at this time. So based on your personality, what is the best path for your future career? So I just had to try it. I talked to many people, and then kind of coincidentally, I decided to study economics.
Okay.
Yeah, it was, to be honest, really kind of a coincidence. A good friend of mine told me, hey, this is a great thing. I mean, you are interested in these things. You are interested in startups, in the stock market, all these things. So maybe this is something you should do. And then I started it, and I finished it after 4.5 years. But also within this university, within this time, I was not sure if I want to go into marketing, sales, general management, or becoming an investor. I was also, and what I did, and this is one of my first learnings, I mean, yes, studying is the one thing, but you need to get experience by having internships to really see what is the best for you. So,
of course.
Yeah.
At the end, all this kind of knowledge, I'm sure that right now you are grabbing from them in order to be what are you doing now?
I remember I was 24, I did an internship at HSBC, working in this option, so working with options, shares in general. And at least I knew from this is something I don't want to do. This is also good, right? Try things and know that is not the right thing for you. Yeah. And then I did an internship at Henkel. You probably know Henkel.
Not really.
Okay, no, in Germany it's a huge company. Okay. It's also, they're also in beauty.
Okay.
So, but yeah, they are huge. And at least back then I knew, okay, this is the area where I want to work in. So I decided, okay, I follow it. I did this internship, and to be honest, I also obviously I made many mistakes in my life. Okay. Obviously. So one mistake I made was just you have to focus. You have to know what you want and follow this, but also you have to know that with 24, 25, it's also a time where you can see the world. I mean, I think, and also when I now listen to people applying for a job as an intern, junior manager, whatever, I'm always interested in their personality. Yeah, I'm not just interested in their CV. I'm interested in what kind of experience did they buy, traveling, knowing interesting people. So I'm interested in the person.
What do you think is more important right now? The soft skills of the knowledge, the hard skills. What do you prefer in your personal, for example?
Yeah, I mean, as I said, soft skills are so important. Obviously, if you don't have the right CV, you don't get access to the interview. Yeah, we have to be honest. But still, as soon as I'm in the interview, I mean, of course I see the CV, but you can also make something up. Who knows what's the truth? I mean, so I'm really interested in not just the hard skills, really the soft skills. Do they fit our culture? Are they interested in working with other people? I mean, we have totally different jobs also. So what is really the best job for this person? So I'm really interested in the persons. And I think you get this experience and this personality also based on, for instance, seeing the world. Yeah?
Really?
So my mistake was really after, when I was 24 finishing, I had to do a break, just half a year, 1 year, and traveling. I mean, I travel all the time. But this, if I go back now, this is something I would do, definitely. Yeah, because I love traveling. I mean, this is also something or what makes me the person I am. I mean, I was in Asia, I was in the Americas, I was all over Europe. I mean, there are different culture, there are different people. I get a lot of inspiration. If you're just in your little neighborhood, I mean, I'm not judging it, don't get me wrong, but you open your perspective.
Really? I know you are an innovative guy, and
thank you.
There is a book, the name is The 10 Phases of Innovation. Maybe you know it.
Yeah, I know it.
And so you have to remember the the pollinizator innovator.
Yeah. Be
So
open. Be
you
open. That's-
have to travel in order to
Yeah,
make
exactly.
that thing.
You have to know it. You have to be open. You have to be, yeah. If you are not open, if you don't want to change something, and changes can just be made or, I mean, discussed by talking to people who do have these ideas, who give you some kind of inspiration. So yeah, I mean, this is really one advice. Travel the world, see people, see different cultures, and then, I mean, learn from them. Learning from people, this is very important.
Well, and then you finally started marketing?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, when I started my first job was, I did many jobs as with 16, 17, I worked in kind of factories for Coca-Cola. So I did all of these dirty
nice.
things. But I mean, it was important just to know what money is.
Oh,
yeah, to see the value of money.
Discipline.
Yeah, discipline, the value of money. It's not just given, you have to do something for it.
Oh, I really love this kind of
My mother
thinking,
really pushed
yeah.
it. My mother really pushed it. She said, okay, if you want to go to France with your friends,
Yeah.
then work like 3 weeks in your summer break at Coca-Cola.
Congratulations for your mother.
Yeah. No, she's great, as I said. My first job was Unilever, at Unilever. I mean, it's a very supply chain driven company.
Great company.
It's a great company, yeah. I mean, they are not this try and error company. If they decide to do something, they analyzed within all departments what the best thing to do. And I always say it's really supply chain driven. If it's a supply chain driven company, I mean, yeah, everything is based on KPIs, based on potential. I will talk about L'Oreal a bit later, but L'Oreal is quite the opposite. L'Oreal is kind of try and error. We want to be innovative. We want to try. We want to.
Really?
Yeah,
No.
it's totally the opposite.
I never imagined that.
Yeah. No, but both companies are great and do have great successes. But I think just based
Different
on
cultures, different
cultures.
management.
Yeah, different cultures. But it's a Dutch company, Dutch-British company, and yeah, I started doing a traineeship, a general management traineeship back then. It took like 2 years, and it was really focusing on marketing and sales.
Okay.
So this is, I mean, back then I already knew, because I'm not that good in listening to my boss, to be really honest. I know that I have to work on it. I have a great boss, by the way, but I'm not that good, and because I always know I know better, but this is one of my weaknesses, by the way, but I'm aware of it.
But telling about weaknesses is very important to improve them and to improve by yourself, isn't it?
Exactly.
So here in Líderes al Descubierto, we really love to talk about weaknesses too, because the path to the success is it's really full of problems and the B sides of the success.
I mean, great that you say it. I mean, if you don't know your weaknesses, if you don't know where you need to work on, how can you improve, right? And if I have an interview with not a junior manager, okay, it's okay that they are not that I do know everything about herself, but if there's a senior manager and I ask this person, okay, sometimes I rephrase it. So what are things where you see potentials, where you want to work on? And if this person is not able to say, hey, 1, 2, 3, really weaknesses he or she is working on, I think, hey, you need to do some kind of self-reflection, because otherwise, you are not improving. Yeah. So self-awareness is super, super important. And this is not just coming from coincidentally, you have to really work on it. There are,
how do you fight against your weaknesses?
I mean, first of all, I really try to be aware of them. There are different tools out there. I just started again I started now with a Gallup Strength Finder, for instance, which is a tool 100% based on strength, but on the other hand, knowing that your weaknesses come from your strength. I'll give an example. If you are a great communicator as a strength, that might also be result into just talking too much, don't let people speak, not hearing different perspectives, right? So how I work on it, first of all, I want to be, this transparency. And I think already back when I was 27, 28, I was at least aware of my weaknesses.
Okay.
So I always said like 2 hours a week. Now it's a bit different, but back then it was always Thursday at 4, where I thought, okay, these are my weaknesses, this is how I want to work on it, and this is what I do. So really taking time, because it's so easy to fall back into your routine, right? Because it's nature.
You need to process it in order to attack.
Yeah, exactly.
To have a plan.
Yeah.
To be persistent.
Yeah.
In order to day by day obtain a little percentage to obtain the goal.
Yeah, exactly. I'll give you an example. There are people who are very, in my opinion, very result-driven, purpose-driven, target-driven, and people who are kind of process-driven.
Okay.
So everyone is kind of in the middle somewhere.
Okay.
But I'm, for instance, very result-driven. To say
problem solver.
Yeah, to say black and white, I don't care how we get there, at least we get there. But of course it's not great. I mean, there are people who are process driven, or just in general, people need to understand why we are doing this. So just saying, hey, we go there, without giving a purpose, without giving some kind of framework, without explaining, they are not following. So after being aware, okay, I know that I'm this kind of person, I knew that I have to have people around me who are very process driven. So when I look into my leadership teams, in my teams, I always said, okay, I don't want to have just people like me in my team.
Yeah.
Everyone needs to bring something I don't have, obviously.
Yeah.
So this is how I choose also people. Yeah.
This is very interesting because when you say you worked in Unilever as a process company, or a process culture company,
but
and then L'Oréal, without that, what do you learn about these two different cultures?
I mean, I learned that Unilever need to be a bit more innovative and just try things, and L'Oréal needs to be a bit more process driven. But seriously, a reason why I left also Unilever was because I was kind of not annoyed, but I was okay that the process take too long. I wanted
bureaucracy.
Bureaucracy. Yeah, I want to do something. I want to try something. I don't want to wait. I have an idea, and then it takes 2 years that it's coming to life. Again, this company has huge success, and it's good that they are proceeding or working as they do. But I knew I'm not the kind of guy who loves to work in this kind of environment.
And in this VUCA environment, do you know the VUCA volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous times? You cannot act in another form than agile.
Yeah. I mean, I was also an alien, I think, when I came to L'Oréal at this time, but L'Oréal changed a lot. No, I was an alien back then because I was, and this is another thing I believe really it's so super important. I was very authentic. I was the person I was. I mean, L'Oréal is a lot about politics.
Okay.
Yeah, very political, and it's good that there are people in the top level who decide. But it was a lot about presentations. It was a lot about presenting yourself. And again, I learned so much from L'Oréal. But at this time, I was kind of an alien because I just did my thing. I learned a lot from Unilever, so I brought these processes. Though I was not a process-driven person, I knew that these processes also make sense at L'Oréal.
Okay.
So I brought this into my environment, and I think it was important that also this new generation came to L'Oréal and changed also this culture back then. But I was also an alien at L'Oréal at this time. Definitely.
Excellent. And when you arrived finally at Babor, do you think that you mixed these cultures? Did you have that opportunity, or what happened? Or maybe you can tell us about how do you enter to this great company?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I was at Unilever, as I said, 3 years. Then I decided to go to L'Oréal and had different jobs. I started at Garnier. Then I worked for L'Oréal Paris. I always did like marketing and sales jobs. I always changed, like starting as a senior marketing manager, then becoming a marketing director, then becoming a sales director. So always I chose positions making me ready, becoming a CEO at the end of the time. So this is what I meant with focus. Yeah, I mean, again, there's.
Do you think the life is, it's different pieces, putting or connecting dots in order to prepare you to this?
Yeah. Important to say, I know that there's not just one way, obviously. I mean, but for me it was important to get all these things, just to feel also prepared, to have the confidence to say, hey, I go now to Babor and say, hey, I want to become the CMO, or I want to become a CEO. So I think it's important to get all these different
What was your first feeling when they
Babor?
invite you to Babor?
I was approached by a headhunter, and my first feeling was, it was a time where I did not know what is the next step at L'Oréal. I was a director in sales, worked in luxury, worked in mass market, so what's the next step? I always thought about, okay, maybe going also to the US, going back to Paris. But I definitely knew I want to have more power. Because as I said, with 25, I knew I want to run a company. I want to have people.
Power to lead the organization.
Huh? Sorry?
Power to lead.
Yeah, power to lead in a very positive way.
Okay.
Yeah, so power means really for me to be able to get your
transform?
thought. Yeah, exactly. So I knew it, but I also knew, hey, becoming the next Argon or now Hieronymus, come on, that takes time.
Okay.
If it's possible, as a not French person. And then I heard from the headhunter, and of course I knew Babor. I mean, you have to know that Babor is very known in Germany.
Okay.
There's an awareness level of 50%. They're really known, we are really known for the product performance. So we always say once Babor, always Babor, but we come to the brand, I think, later. But when they approached me, I knew back then, this position gives me really the opportunity to transfer my ideas into real life, because I was back then reporting to the CEO, and but for me the most important thing was really the first interview with the CEO back then, because he just showed what the culture is, and he gave me trust, because I mean at the end it's also about very often about your boss, right? I don't like the term boss. I prefer a leader, all these kind of things.
It's so different.
Yeah. But if you don't have a boss who is listening to you, who gives you the opportunity to follow your ideas,
even to have errors.
Yeah, exactly. Who's accepting
to
my
have mistakes.
Exactly.
Please come on.
Yeah.
Do it.
But after this so I knew that this position is great. CMO in charge of product development, creating this brand, sharpening this brand is a great opportunity. But then really having this interview with the CEO make me believe that this is the perfect company for me, and it's the truth. It is. Yeah.
And before continue to talking about Babor, I would like to ask you. Not to ask you. It is the moment in which I have to say you that I cut you. I think that talking about your personality, you are a very disciplined guy. That you have what you want to do, and I think you want to transform all around you. I love this future that you are learning always in order to be prepared to the next challenge.
Yeah.
So I think this is a very important futures to be a great leader, not a boss.
Yeah,
a leader.
exactly.
And maybe you tell the audience what is the most important things. I think I know
as a leader
there's a lot, but as a leader, how do you inspire your co-workers?
First of all, I think it's about being authentic.
Authentic.
Really,
Yeah.
this is number one, and for me, really the base for everything, because at the end, personal relationships are about trust, right?
Yeah.
And you only trust people who are authentic. So authenticity, this is number one.
Yeah.
I think really empowering people, giving them the chance to also bring own ideas to the table. I mean, I really like a quote from Steve Jobs, I think was it. We don't hire people to tell them what to do, they tell us what we need to do. Right? I love this.
Yeah,
I love this. So I know, I know a lot, but I need different perspectives. Yeah, so knowing that you need to rely on your team, but I also don't like people saying, hey, I have a great boss because he let me just do things. I don't think this is a good leader. A good leader is a person who gives you trust, but who gives you like a framing, clear purpose, clear targets. Without targets, what do you want to do, right?
Yeah.
You run in this direction, but the company needs to go in this direction.
Yeah.
So giving this framework, giving this framing, take time to discuss personal targets. This is for me really, really important. Yeah, and then again, really knowing, okay, allow mistakes, but try to coach people, give feedback. But of course, at the end,
Mentoring is important.
Mentoring is important. Feedback is important in general.
Yeah.
We talked about self-awareness. You only get the self-awareness. Okay, there are tools, but you get it if you get real, honest feedback. And I think a leader needs to give feedback and also accept feedback. This is also important. It's not just going in one direction.
Yeah.
Getting feedback from your people, it's always kind of hard to get real honest feedback.
I know, yeah.
But I have great people. They do. If it's not just this, I have a drink with them, and then they are more open.
That's a good medicine.
Yeah, but this, listening to be open, learn to the end of your life. At the end. Yeah.
Thank you very much. So, Babor,
yeah.
tell us, what are you doing here in Mexico? What are your plans? How do you plan to get it? Please,
Yeah.
this is your space.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I'm super excited. I mean, the people here don't see the brand as I see now. I mean, it's our first time. We are really here in Mexico City. We at the brand are already in Quintana Roo, have great partners there. But now really seeing, first of all, the huge potential here. I also drove a bit around the streets and saw, okay, we are now in the Palacio de Hierro,
Okay.
so also seeing the brand here. So these different potential also touch points, especially when it's about medical spa, day spa. It's just amazing to see the potential. For me, Mexico, and I always tell or talk to my partner or our partners who are really in charge of the operational business here. Hey, for me, it's really focus. I mean, for me, it's here in the Americas, of course, US, Canada, but the next big thing for us is Mexico.
Okay.
Obviously, we're also thinking about going even more southern, but now it's about Mexico, and that's so for me was totally clear being here, supporting the team, and and as I said, seeing the brand as it is here, I think there's a great fit of Babor for this market. I mean, to tell you a bit about the brand, we were founded in 1965. 56, sorry.
Okay.
By a doctor, Dr. Michael Babor. So we always say we are the original doctor brand. Before all the doctor brands came to life, I mean, we were already there. We are really about this expert skincare. So this is where we are coming from. Our heritage is being in spas, in these beauty salons all over the world, especially also Germany. Mm-hmm. So working really with experts gives us the credibility at the end. But now it's the time to become even more, we always say multi-channel. Because where do the people buy skincare? It's of course also in spas, it's in medical spas, day spas, hotel spas, but it's also in retail, for instance. It's also online. Okay. So understanding really the different touch points, this is really now the next step. So not just in terms of the region, where we need to go now to Mexico City and this area, but it's also about, okay, where do we want to go? What are the right department stores? What are the right pure players when it's e-commerce? How to improve our web shop? All these things where people buy is actually now important to consider, and then define a mission, because our main goal is we want to become a top 10 prestige skincare brand. Top 10, and we are not competing just with professional brands. We are really competing with all the prestige skincare brands out there. I mean, there are tons of them, but I'm 100% sure that we are able to do it. And this is based on, at the end, awareness. We need to increase the awareness. People need to have the brand in their relevant set. When they think about skincare, they need to think about Babor. How do we get this? I mean, for instance, we need to get in the hand, on the skin of people. We need to work with really, like we always say, skin experts, dermatological experts, skin influencers, all people who are really recommending the brand, and then being at all the different touch points in, again, department store, med spas. So this is really the plan.
Wow. When I hear you, I can see that your company has made a very interesting work and story in user experience. And when you talk about touch points and nowadays digitalization, Babor is making something about that, using digital skills, digital tools to stay near to the customer.
Yeah, of course. I mean, in the past, we had a target group which was an average around 50. So like 20, 30 years ago, we said, okay, digital was not that important anyway, but they are in different, I mean, we don't have to do it. Nowadays, we address a 50 years old lady. We want to become younger, 30 years, so of course we need to think digital, obviously. When it's about our tools, I mean, when it's creating awareness, we are really big on YouTube, driving these digital campaigns. We do have our Babor Instagram account, which is kind of the host, the house of the brand, where you really see it if you want to get information about the brand, about what the brand stands for, the values. You go on our Instagram account. And then, to be honest, it's also about TikTok, right? Because they are not just the consumers, they are also partners in retail stores or whatever, who say, hey, we don't, selling in is the one thing, you have to sell through. You will sell through if you are big on TikTok. So working here with user-generated content is really important. And again, really getting these skinfluencers, people trust in, as an ambassador for the brand. So this is really key, and this is happening online, obviously. Yeah. Okay,
that's nice. And for example, maybe you can use a filter, a filter after and before using Babor's products.
Exactly, we do it. Funny that you say it. Before, after is a really big thing. We have a new campaign. It's called My Skin, My Story.
Okay.
What is it about? I mean, at the end, skincare is not just about skin. It's about how you feel. Yeah. So
what do you eat?
Yeah, what do you eat? But I also mean, when you're 17, you have acne. That makes something with your confidence, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, and I mean, knowing that there's a brand, Babor, again, we have back in the back of me, there are a lot of products. The reason is we really believe in individual solutions for every skin type. Every skin is different. Yeah, we need to know it. But anyway, and this campaign is really about showing the transformation from before Babor, then using it, and then what happened with the person, him, herself. This is a really emotional campaign, also obviously showing how the skin transforms, but also what it makes with them in terms of personality, confidence, all kind of things. I give you another example. There was in the campaign there was a mother.
Okay.
Who got pregnant, and then there were something.
Pigment.
Correct.
Yeah.
And she said the first 2 years after the birth of the child, she did not want to have any picture of herself because she didn't feel comfortable.
Yeah.
And this is something which really, affects your life, right? And so we are really happy that we have skincare, which helps.
Okay, I really love that. Do you have a job to be done for Babor?
Excuse me?
A job to be done? The phrase, a lemma?
A claim?
Where is the goal in 3 or 4 words for Babor's?
I mean, you mean
because when I hear you, I think in to recover the self-confidence through the skin, for example, something like that.
I mean, we have a vision. Yeah, we want people around the world to feel confident and good in their own skin. This is our vision. Yeah, and we have a purpose. So really, make people to feel good in their own skin by having these individual solutions. So this is really what drives us as a company.
Yes, when I talk about the job to be done, is because
job to be done.
Job
okay.
to be done.
Yeah. This is a phrase we know from Unilever, for instance. But as I said, this is a mission, the vision. We have clear targets. I mean, the main target is, we have to drive the awareness. And not just in the US and Mexico, everywhere in the world. We want to become an international brand. So second of all, we need to create these values. What do we stand for? It's sustainability, it's inclusion, it's empowerment, it's performance, it's trust, and it's expertise. So
talking about sustainability, I try to imagine how to match the beauty and the processes that you have to follow
and luxury
in order to obtain the products, and at the same time care the environment.
No, it's a great question. I mean, back being the CMO and in charge of product development, we always had the question, hey, we don't compromise when it's about performance, but we want to be sustainable. And it's hard. It's hard.
Difficult.
I know. But the first thing is, and this is really important, you just have to set this target. We need to be clean. We need to be sustainable. At the end, we have no choice. The consumers will make the decision. They will decide, hey, there is no, I just want to have clean brands. And I mean, if we're not a brand for the consumers, what are we here for, right? And it's not just the consumer. It's also, again, the retailer, the partners. They also want to work with brands who are clean. So at the end, we had no choice, first of all. The good thing is, it's really in the core of the brand that we want to work sustainable. 30 years ago, no one was talking about sustainability. This brand was, because family owned, everything is made in Germany, the whole chain is in Germany, production. So they were really believing in this, and also the kind of what we do for the environment. But coming back to your question, we set this clear target. We had no option. Because if you have options, it's the easiest way to say, hey, we don't do it clean. But we said we need to do it clean. So after this, we had to change our R&D department. We had to work with other people. So we also changed the ingredients we work for. That took time. So then we launched, we did not launch in 1 year, we launched in 2 years. But with having this clear idea and vision, we made it. You don't have, if there are options, it's never good. A clear target, everyone is following, that was the one thing. And then it's great that we, as I said, have everything in Germany. We can change it. There are many brands who produce with third parties or whatever, distributors. We do everything by our own, so we have the choice at the end. So, and this is helping us on this path. And now we just move into our new factory, the most sustainable beauty factory in the world. We are super proud of. So I think this is another sign how serious we are as about sustainability.
Okay. The thing that you have control all the chain supply in Germany, it's a good way to be clean.
Yeah, and then also make decisions. I mean, there were SKUs products where we said we cannot get them clean. Hey, we had to delist them. Yeah, that's what it is.
And economically, when you are making all the process in Germany, these have an disadvantage for the cost?
It is an advantage, definitely. No, it is. It's a huge advantage. You have to know that we are also producing for other luxury brands. I mean, this is an open secret that we are having Babor, but also working with them. And there we see how huge this advantage is, because I mean, they come to us and say, hey, you have the full control. You can do everything, for us, and and at the end we do. So it's a huge advantage at the end. Yeah, definitely.
Excellent. Well, this interview is finished.
Thank you.
But I would like to ask you to tell the audience why to buy Babor instead of other brands.
Yeah, it's a great question. At the end, and this is one sentence I really liked, I heard this morning from a very inspiring woman. It's really once Babor, always Babor. At the end, it's about performance. You can say whatever you want. If the skincare is not working, so try Babor, you see that the products are just better, and then you don't have to compromise when it's about sustainability, when it's about clean, when it's about, I mean, there are dermatological experts all over the world who really trust in us. So you do have the confidence that you did the right choice. This is what I can say.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank
this
you.
Is your space, Líderes al descubierto.
Thank you. Gracias.
Thank you, Tim.
Gracias.